He stood alone in a quiet village, carrying the weight of a life that never seemed to change. Every morning felt the same, with empty hands and a future that looked just as empty. Sitting outside his broken home, he wondered if life had anything more to offer. With nothing left to lose, he slowly decided to step away from everything he knew. He walked through the narrow, dusty paths, leaving behind the only place he called home. The sunlight was warm, but inside him there was only silence and uncertainty. As he moved further, the village slowly faded behind him into quiet distance. A strange feeling pulled him forward towards something he did not understand. Soon, he reached a quiet, open place where everything felt unusually still. That was when he saw a man standing there, as if he had been waiting. The man said nothing, yet his presence felt heavy and impossible to ignore. Confused but curious, he slowly walked closer, unable to turn back now. Standing face to face, he felt something unusual in the air between them. The stranger spoke softly, offering something that sounded too powerful to refuse. He did not understand everything, but he knew this could change his life. Then, the stranger asked him to look down at something he always had. For the first time, he stared deeply at his own shadow beneath his feet. A strange thought crossed his mind as doubt and hope began to mix. He looked back at the stranger, unsure yet desperate for something better. In that moment, he realized that he hesitated for a moment, but deep inside, he knew he could not walk away now. The stranger slowly extended his hand as if sealing a deal without words. Something about it felt wrong, yet the promise of change was too strong. Without fully understanding, he accepted the offer in silence. In that instant, something shifted, though nothing around him moved. A strange emptiness spread through him as he stood frozen in place. He slowly looked down, expecting to see something familiar beneath him. But the ground showed nothing, and his shadow was completely gone. Confusion rushed through his mind as he stepped back in disbelief. He tried to move again, hoping it would return, but nothing changed. The sunlight remained the same, yet something inside him felt different. Fear slowly replaced hope as he realized what he had lost. He turned around, searching for the stranger, but he was no longer there. Now, completely alone, he felt a strange distance from everything around him. He began walking back toward the village, unsure of what would happen next. Each step felt heavier, as if the ground itself rejected him. When he reached the village, people started to notice something unusual. Their eyes were not on him, but on the ground beneath his feet. Whispers began to spread, as fear slowly filled their expressions. For the first time, he understood that something was terribly wrong. He could feel the distance growing as people slowly moved away from him. No one wanted to come close, as if he no longer belonged among them. He tried to speak, but his words felt empty and unheard. Fear had replaced every familiar face he once knew. With a heavy heart, he turned and walked back toward his home. Each step felt slower, as if regret was pulling him down. He reached his house, but it no longer felt like a place of comfort. Sitting outside, he stared at the ground, hoping to see what was missing. But the sunlight showed nothing, and the truth became impossible to ignore. For the first time, he understood what he had truly lost. It was never just a shadow, but a part of who he was. The silence around him felt louder than anything he had ever heard. He closed his eyes, wishing he could go back and change that moment. But time did not move backward, and choices could not be undone. All he could do was sit there with the weight of his decision. The world around him continued, yet he felt completely disconnected. Even the light that once warmed him now felt distant and cold. He slowly accepted that nothing would ever be the same again. Looking down once more, he faced the emptiness without turning away. And in that silence, he realized some things once lost never return.